Welcome to Season 4 of Just Wanna Quilt. I'm your host, Elizabeth Townsend Guard, and I am super psyched to be talking to all kinds of people about quilting and copyright, entrepreneurship, all kinds of things. And now our theme. So Amy Reitzel joins us. She's part of the Quilting Army. She's awesome, and we talk about quilting.
This is Amy Reitzel, and I'm from Ottawa Lake, Michigan.
Awesome. And can you explain to people who the quilting, what is the Quilting Army and what is Just Wanna Quilt?
Just Wanna Quilt is a wonderful podcast and a wonderful group of people who just want to quilt, and they want to learn all about copyright and making sure that we're doing things properly.
Cool. And tell me what you do when you're not quilting.
I am a medical biller.
Interesting. I didn't know that. That's interesting. And so do you feel like, I feel like all I'm trying to do every day is just get back to quilting. Do you feel that way sometimes? Like, I feel like there's a lot of things I do in my life, but I feel like I really just want to be in the studio quilting.
Amen. I'm on vacation this week, and I've behaved, and this is Wednesday. This is the first day that I've actually been in the studio sewing.
Really?
I've been a good girl. I've been doing my stuff outdoors. I did finish binding on a quilt that I'm giving away this coming weekend.
That's good. But binding is kind of a chore in itself, don't you think?
No, I like to bind.
You like to bind.
I'm one of the oddities in the quilting world, and I like to bind.
Do you hand bind or machine bind?
I hand bind most of my quilts,
Interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting.
I do machine bind a few, but most of them, if I'm giving it away specifically to someone, I hand bind it.
That's really interesting. Right. The level of care is about the binding. Like, how much do you care? I guess. I mean, and also functionality. I mean, if it's a baby quilt, you're like, well, it's going to get washed 1,000 times.
If it's a baby quilt, yeah. I tend to machine bind those just for stability. Yeah. But I just like the final peaceful process.
I like that. And it's kind of saying goodbye to this thing that's been in your life. There's a kind of, right? Yeah.
Yep.
The binding step. I like that. Okay, so the other question I have is, sorry, that was weird. The cat, there was a duck sound from our house, and we don't have any ducks in our house. So how has this year been? So we're sort of coming out. I feel like we're kind of all been meerkats hiding from the snake, and we're sort of starting to come back out. How has the year been for you? And what role did quilting play as we were kind of in this space?
It's been weird because I'm working from home. In fact, I'm now permanently working from home.
Interesting.
And my quilting groups have been getting on Zoom every 2 or 3 weeks and talking to each other. But quilting is my peace. So when I need to be settled down, I like to sew. That's where my peace is at.
So for me, quilting got really weird this year because I had made so many masks and was so burnt out that it was hard, that sewing became something else for me, which kind of invaded my life in some weird way. What role did quilting play for you during the pandemic?
I made a few masks. I made them for immediate family, but I didn't go mask crazy. Because and part of that was because I was working full time, but I found a call for people to make masks and make gowns for one of the nursing home groups in our area, and they wanted fabric as well. So I called them and I said, I have a full-time job that I'm still working, so I don't have time to sew, but I've got fabric.
That's nice.
And I went through and I sorted out and I got rid of probably 80, 90 yards of fabric that I was like, okay, I can let this go. I'm never going to use this.
I love it. You know, it's so funny because of where I sit in my community. we just kept having people drop off fabric, and then we would, rehome it. But I still ended up with a ridiculous amount of fabric that I'm still like, where are you all going? Because you can't stay here.
Yeah, I mean, there's just only so much fabric we can sew, and if it's just not your taste, you're not going to sew it.
No, it's true. And I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm easily distracted by the latest, coolest, newest fabric. That,
Oh, that's pretty. Ooh,
right,
that's
exactly.
pretty. Ooh, that's pretty.
Right, exactly. I feel like the dog in Up, where it's like squirrel.
Yep.
Oh, anyway. Well, I am super psyched. We are getting ready to do many things, and the year, I think the goal is just to get back into the sort of mindset of fun. And I feel like things got a bit dreary. And because the mask stuff invaded the quilting people, I think it was weird. Like, it was a weird, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like we need to get back on the right, kind of on the fun space. So,
yes, because people just got humdrum into mask, and then they quit being creative on their own.
Yeah, and it was so exhausting.
And they need to just get
it wasn't
back.
Fun. It wasn't like, yay.
It wasn't fun sewing.
No, it wasn't fun sewing.
It was a task. It wasn't
a task.
Fun sewing. And we need to get back to fun sewing.
Exactly. Well, cool. Do you have any plans for the summer?
No, not really, because we're just, we're both vaccinated, but we're just not sure if we're totally comfortable with going out.
Yeah.
And, doing a vacation trip yet.
Yeah, I hear ya. We're like very much like, it's okay to go to X, but I'm not ready for this yet. Like, my kid was like, I'm not really ready for the mall yet. I'm like, I agree. So there's a kind of sense of like, I don't know. It's weird, right?
And then, you got to let go of the youngster this year.
I know. Every second of my waking moment is like the clock of when they go to Chicago.
She's not like just going a few hours away.
No, she's going 13 hours away. Yeah.
It's not like, okay, I just need to go see her, so I'm just gonna hop in the car and drive there this weekend.
Totally. I told her I told them that might happen. That I just like, we get there, I kiss her head, and then we get back in the car and we go back home. I think it would be really great to just show up out of nowhere,
Chicago's like 4 hours from me, 4 to 5 hours.
So this is the other thing. Yeah. So I feel like I'm going to be like, well, I'm going to go visit Amy. And so I'll just happen to like drop through. I've got all these plans of like why I happen to be in the neighborhood. So yeah, we're planning tours. We're planning events that always start in Chicago. Like, you have to go through Chicago to get to wherever you're going. So
and just so you know, you're not the only one with a little companion there.
Oh, nice.
This is Miss Peppermint. She's
Miss
my
Peppermint.
quilting kitty.
How much does your cat interfere with your sewing?
Oh, she likes to interfere all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, when I give away a quilt, it's like, okay, now I have to go with the lint brush over the entire quilt 3 or 4 times. And then I immediately put it in a plastic bag as soon as I get that done, so that nobody can get any more fur on it.
That's craziness. Yeah, I get that. Mine are just so aggressive. They're aggressive quilters. So like, there's a lot of like, one is like kind. The other one is just like in battle with me as I quilt.
Oh, she just always wants to be here next to me.
That's nice. That's love.
This morning she's been laying next to the sewing machine as I'm trying to paper piece a lion's head.
Oh, right. Are you doing Cassandra's? Are you doing
Yes,
Cassandra's thing? A quick interlude. So we talk about Cassandra Beaver's new pattern, Zoo Family Portrait, which can be found at her website, the Not So Dramatic Life, which is just one word, thenotsodramaticlife.com, and also on Etsy, if you want to take a look at it. We are also really pleased that Cassandra is part of our Quilting Army and is part of our certified copyright and quilting program. But here we're talking about her new really cool English paper piecing zoo portrait, which is just insanely cool. So again, take a look at that, but we're going to talk about it. And I will put a link in the, so if you just go to Etsy, if you are interested in looking at it, just put in Zoo Family Portrait Quilt.
The Zoo quilt?
Which is, right.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Hold it up again and let me see what the pattern is again. Right, I have that pattern, Zoo Family Portrait Quilt. It is paper pieced and it's gorgeous, and we're thinking about trying to do some sort of group with it. I would love to sort of chat more with you about that because I think it's just such a cool pattern.
My only complaint about it is not having specific directions of cut this size and shape of piece of fabric.
Yeah.
But when I learned to paper piece, I didn't have those directions, so I'm fairly decent at
guessing,
just figuring.
Yeah, I've always felt like paper piecing is scrappy. You know, I learned to do it really chaotically, so I've never had. You know what I mean? Like,
I bought the kit. I have ordered. I think there was 3 colors of blue that I ordered, and I have since ordered an extra half yard of.
Yeah.
Just because I wasn't going to get all the size strips I needed.
Yeah.
But that's not, but I mean, I've spent an extra, $18?
Right.
No big deal.
Exactly. Well, Amy, I want to chat more with you long term, but I think that the groceries have arrived because the dogs are barking like an insane group. Because that's the world that we live in. That's the best part of, I think, the pandemic is grocery delivery is now a thing that everybody does. Not everybody, but that it's totally, it's not, You're
not as weird because you do that now.
Right. And it's awesome. I don't ever want to go back to going to the grocery store. We did it once after getting vaccinated. I'm like, why are we doing this? All right, so season 4 is starting. Will you come back and chat with us longer? These are just quick hellos to check in with our friends. And I will totally be coming to visit you now that I know you're 4 hours away. We need a map of okay, I've got to go see Amy. So
I'm an hour southwest of Detroit.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Love it.
I'm just across the line from Toledo, Ohio, but
you are.
We think Toledo's this big city, and a lot of people out in the world don't know Toledo. So if we just say, hey, we're an hour southwest of Detroit, then they're like, oh, yeah, okay, now I know where you're at. Nice.
Well, we are going to try to do all kinds of adventures. That's the next part of it. I only travel by train and car, so that's the restriction. So
I do planes, but the first thing I do when I sit down on a plane is make sure there's a barf bag in front of me.
Oh, no. That's not good. You got to come on the train with me. There's not a lot of puking on trains. So, less puking.
Well, and see, trains, it depends on the train. I don't train real well. But
you don't either because of the bumpy, side to side kind of sloshiness.
Yeah, just the kind of the sloshy. If it's not, yeah.
Got it. Okay. Well, we'll factor that in. You don't. Oh, I do adore you. I'm so glad you're doing okay. I love these little check-ins that are about 15 minutes each, just to say hi. It's been such a weird year. I just feel like we need one-on-one time with each other. I just think it's great.
Yes, I'm looking forward to new podcasts. I did take a slightly different position at work, and I don't have the time to listen while I'm working like I used to have. I still catch up with most of my podcasts.
That's really good. Cool. Awesome. Well, I totally adore you. I'm going to go let the dogs, we leave the dogs from their barking because they know something has been delivered. And we'll chat really soon. I'm going to put up a link and we can have a longer conversation. But thanks for coming by and saying hi. And it's fun to get season 4 started.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye, ya.
Bye.
So you've been listening to the 4th season of Just Wanna Quilt. I'm Elizabeth Townsend Guard. I'm a law professor at Tulane University Law School, and I am obsessed with quilting and copyright and entrepreneurship and everything that touches that in every way. I hope you enjoyed this, and of course, I hope you get a chance, or I hope you have been quilting a little bit today. Please come visit us at our Facebook group, on TikTok, on Instagram, at our website, at our book site, Just Wanna Books, and feel free to reach out. I do hope you enjoyed this podcast, and let's see what's up next. Like and comment at any of the social media platforms that you use. It helps. We love it. And I hope you get a chance to quilt today. And today we talked about Cassandra's pattern. Not sponsored. Just love it. Zoo Family Portrait Quilt. You can find it at Etsy. And it's really cool.